just purchased. I'm going to show you how to put the screw in it, set up your power feed so you don't have any problems when you go to finally power up the machine. First off, what we're going to tell you is when you get this, as you can see that the head's flipped upside down. We do this so it's cheaper on shipping, and you don't have this, it's not very top heavy at this point. So what you're going to do when you get this, you are going to rotate the knee counterclockwise to drop it. You're going to drop the knee and the table away from the head, which is going to bring it down. Once you get a little loose, cut your straps, bring it down the rest of the way. Then you're going to want to loosen your 4 binder bolts for the head. Loosen all 4 of these. And you're going to come over here. And it's going to take 2 people to do this. This right here is the screw that turns the worm gear inside of the head that will actually rotate the head. So you need to have somebody holding the head, holding it like this. You're going to have somebody in the front working a 3/4 inch socket and a ratchet. So somebody's going to be holding it like this, holding the head, and you're going to be turning this counterclockwise, which is going to rotate the head back this way. Or you can turn it clockwise, which will rotate it that way, either way. After you get the head almost at 12 o'clock, then of course you don't need help anymore. But anytime that the head is vertical and you're trying to raise it up, you need to support that because you will snap the assembly inside of here, and then you're going to have to manually stand this up by yourself and try to bind the bolts down. So anyway, as you can see, I had the screw sticking out on this. I'm not going to take it all the way out of here. But what you need to do is when you start this, it's going to be a little on the tight side. You're going to take the screw, you're going to guide it in, you're going to look underneath, which you can't see right now. You're going to stick it into the nut. With a clockwise motion, you're going to turn the screw in. And as you're doing this, take some spindle lubrication or some way lube and put it on the screw when you get it, because the screw is going to be dry. You never want to put it in there when it's dry because you'll tear up the brass. So you're going to bring this all the way in there. And if you look on the back of this piece, you come over here, Alan, you have 2 lineup pins, and these 2 lineup pins are going to go into these holes. So as you're getting close, just be cautious that you're not going to snap the pins off. See? And then it brings it right up. Get your Allen key. Take your 3/16 Allen key. Put your bolts in. Make sure that you put all 4 of them in here. And when you get this, the screws will be sticking in the side of the table. If we come over here to the other side, this bracket we were leaving on the table. You never want to take this bracket off. This bracket has been lined up and pinned in place. There's no reason to ever take this off. This is lined up perfectly so that the gears mesh correctly in the drive when you put the unit on. Now you're going to have to go over and get your metric set, because everything on this power unit is metric. You're going to take this unit, and as you're doing this, I'm not going to grease it, but you want to put a little bit of grease on this bushing. There's a bushing on here right now that has been Loctited in place, so this one will not come off. And just rub a little bit of light grease inside of this roller bearing assembly inside of the unit too. So you want to take this, put it on there, make sure she's all the way in. There's 2 bolts that it comes with. Just look for the lineup, just look for the bolt holes. Now you don't want to tighten this at first. Just want to get them started. If you look, there is a little bushing. It's a ring. This ring too, put a little bit of grease on it. You don't want to take it. You're going to want to slip it right inside of there. Once you get that on there, you can tighten these up. You don't have to go crazy tightening these. They just need to be snug. They don't need to be power tightened. Because this is all aluminum, and you can strip out the bracket. Next, you have two shims. Right here, once again, take a little bit of grease, put some grease between them. It'll stick the shims together. A little bit of grease in the front of this face, and these go on next. The shims all the way on there. Make sure that they're seated properly. If you do that, there's a key. We'll take the key. Of course, I can't turn the handle right now because we can't move the table. But the key is going to go in next. Of course, you can't see it because it's upside down, but the key is in place. Then you're going to take your brass piece right here. I'll take some light grease again and put some grease on the teeth. As you can see, goes right on. Next, you will take your handle. As you can see, everything snaps together. And this nut, the shoulder goes inside of the handle. So get it to start. There it goes. You don't have to go crazy tighten this either. You just need it snug. You don't need to go crazy over tightening everything. You're going to come over here. You're going to take your auto stop. Which what this is when you set your limits right here. The table comes in and hits it. It'll shut the feed motor off. Same thing when it comes in this side. It'll hit this. It'll shut the feed motor off. As you can see, you have two bolts with bushings on them. And these are standard. The only thing that is metric are the bolts and the feed assembly over here. And if you ever need to change any bolts for that feed unit, they're actually standard bolts with metric heads. So they can be replaced with standard bolts. Then you would just tighten that up. This bolt will come out right here. You would put it inside of here, and this is the hanger for the wire. You can see you put it in here. Like so, you tighten it down. You can plug in your feed unit, and your feed unit's all ready to go. Now before you move anything on the feed unit, even when you unstrap everything, all the binders have been tightened, so you need to come over here and loosen the binders. And come over here and loosen the binder. Then you're all good to go. So that is how you install your power feed unit. If you have any questions on how to install this or you hit a road bump, just call up and ask for Corey and I'll walk you through it. Thank you very much.